There is no such thing as free lunch in this world. What you gain through dating men for money, you lose in other areas of your life. Hi my loves, welcome back to the Brain and Beauty Club. I'm Kelly and on here we bring nuance back to womanhood. Today we're unpacking the soft life to sugar daddy pipeline. We're going to talk about why it felt empowering at first, where it went wrong, and how we can date with standards without losing self-respect. But before we get into it, I need you to hit the like and subscribe button so that more people can join our conversation. Now that's out of the way, let's get into it. I'm not going to lie, when I first came across Shara Zevin's Sprinkle videos, I thought they were funny. I mean, she's not all wrong. Dating for money isn't necessarily a bad thing. The Wizard Liz has also openly talked about her version of princess treatment is being showered with expensive gifts and having all her bills and rent paid for. And when that type of content blew up on the internet, it was a time where even wanting a man to pay on dates was taboo and not talked about. And many women weren't comfortable expressing that wish. So when we had creators like Shara Zevin and the Wizard Liz openly talking about wanting a man to pay for things, it felt refreshing. They were speaking up for all of us who felt like we couldn't express our wish for a financially stable man without being shamed. But of course, the internet does what it does best and we all lost the plot. I mean, literally. The soft life content, high value dating, feminine energy content started as advice that actually benefited women and mutated to extremes like being a stay-at-home girlfriend is the newest trendy thing and that all women are workers. The only difference is whether we're paid or not. So today I urge all of us to sprinkle some brain cells back into our brains and let's bring nuance back to high value dating. When I see these creators talk about high value dating, high value men, they reduce it to one thing and one thing only: money. A high value man is a man that pays for your bills, he pays for your rent, he buys you 100 roses, Chanel bags, Van Cleef bracelets, you name it. They equate money bombing with love. And if you think that money is all that matters in a relationship, it's probably because you see men as an easy way to achieve the kind of lifestyle that you want. And that is a complex topic that we will discuss next week. But what I will say today is that there is no such thing as free lunch in this world. What you gain through dating men for money, you lose in other areas of your life. When you treat dating like a transaction, you turn yourself into a product, not a partner. That's why we hear things like, all women are workers, the only difference is whether you're paid or not. And I want to point out that this is a very self-degrading, misogynistic thing to say about women, especially when you are a woman yourself. When you adopt that belief, you are internalizing the language of men that don't even like women. The world already objectifies us enough, we really don't have to do it to ourselves as well. When you view relationships as transactional, you're focusing on the monetary values that you can extract from the relationship. You're not focusing on his actual values, his kindness, his character. So you end up attracting men who pay for access and the type of men who think that money is all they need to get a woman. In case you didn't know, those type of men, they don't love, they buy access, and eventually they will treat you as something that they have purchased. So not only are you participating in self-degradation when you view relationships as transactional, you are also attracting men who will degrade you. Now, I want to be extremely clear that I am not saying this to shame women. If anything, I believe that women who subscribe to transactional dating are actually victims of internalized misogyny. They have been taught that their highest perceived value is their youth and their desirability. But I do want to raise this point very clearly so that we can see through the self-degradation that has been marketed as high-value dating. Now, am I saying that romantic relationships are not transactional at all and that money shouldn't be a consideration? Of course not. So let's bring the nuance back to high-value dating. Relationship, especially marriage, is about building a life together that is better than what you can achieve on your own. Because after all, if you can live a better life on your own, why bother partnering up with someone else? But the difference is that with this type of relationship, the transaction is not only about money. Money in this case is the entry requirement. It's not the reason that you stay. Princess treatment isn't about Chanel bags. It's about emotional safety. It's how he makes you feel. What matters is how he treats you, his character, his loyalty. It's about empathy and being understood and being held in a way that money cannot buy. That is value. In order to have money as an entry requirement rather than the reason you choose someone, you need to have enough financial stability yourself so that money isn't the reason that you stay. My life got dramatically better, both materialistically and emotionally, when I met my husband. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that money doesn't matter. But when I was dating, I wasn't searching for a savior. I was searching for a partner. I was already financially stable. I was already secure. So I was looking for a man that would add to my life and not build it for me. I didn't waste time on people that couldn't give me the kind of lifestyle that I wanted for myself. But at the same time, I also wasn't looking for a man to money bomb me into a relationship with him. I was looking for a financially stable man who is kind, funny, empathetic, someone who loves me for who I am, and I love him for who he is. And I found him. A high value man isn't someone who funds your lifestyle. It's the one that you'd choose, even if you could fund it yourself. That's all I have for you today. Remember, softness isn't about shrinking. You can be delicate in your presence and powerful in your mind. I will see you here next Wednesday. Bye.